What are you doing, Tina?
What are you doing, Jenny?
We are two women living our best lives in the Black Hills of South Dakota, sharing our stories, laughs, and projects happening in the garage.
Whether you're looking for a bit of joy, a spark of creativity, or just a comforting voice, you can find it here. Unicorn!
Here we are, ladies.
Unreal.
Hello.
The Unicorn Projects and our very first guest. Would you like to introduce her?
Studio guest.
Yes.
I'm stoked about this because this is not only my dermatologist and Jenny's dermatologist.
And mine.
And it happens to be your dermatologist.
And everyone in my office
because
is
she's a rock
dermatologist.
star at what she does. But she has been my friend for 15 years.
Really?
Yes. And that's how we first met, is around the golf course, and I got introduced to her through, she was a member at Arrowhead where I was a pro, and I love that you're in here. I love that we get to talk about your passion project and your book and
Thank you for having me.
Oh my
So
gosh,
excited to be
we're
here.
so excited.
It's an honor.
So,
You're such a
without
baddie.
further ado,
Celebrity doctor.
yes, Dr. Lycia Thornburg.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, bravo.
So, Lycia, I'm not going to get all the letters and things right. Do you want to give a little self-introduction?
Letters.
So, yeah.
The initials.
All of the
behind.
things, yeah.
So I'm a board-certified dermatologist, and I've been practicing here in the Black Hills for 22 years.
Amazing.
And I've known you a long time, too. What year was your wedding?
2019.
19.
Yeah.
Isn't
was
that crazy?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was smart not to wear high heels out there.
Yes,
smart.
that was
With
smart.
the venue.
Our,
Yep.
our reception was at a greenhouse.
Was out at Jolly Lane.
And so there were some
know.
trip hazards, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, not OSHA approved.
And everybody danced the night away. It was great.
It was
a
great.
great wedding.
And your kids had so much fun.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Were you there for the toast that they gave?
Yeah. And then your toast.
And yeah,
Yours is the one that made me cry.
it was fun.
Yeah,
Yep, good
that's
stuff.
Tina.
So, great day.
And, okay,
Yeah,
so that
you-
doesn't even tell the half of it.
You've
Board
got
certified
something big,
dermatologist, but in addition to that, you have...
So 18 years ago, I was at a meeting at the medical center, and I was kind of bored. I'm not gonna hide that.
Yeah.
And I was looking through a magazine as they were like debating something, and in the back of it there was this organization, a charity organization, and it was started by Kurt Schilling. He's a baseball player who's had melanoma, and he puts shade structures up with the Academy of Dermatology. And I was like, oh, that would be great. So I was looking through the previous grant winners, and they were all in southern locations. And I was like, oh, I wonder if we could apply. And I was like, I'll just start my own. So by the end of the meeting,
I'll just start my own.
so I went up to
You're
my
like
partners
me.
at the time, right?
No wonder you two are friends.
Exactly.
And it was Dr. Finley. You guys, Victoria,
Yes.
love her, and then Dr. Tamara Poling and Greg Wittenberg.
Oh.
And so I said, I have this idea, and you'd be amazed. They were like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Just your money." And they were like, "Okay."
Okay.
And so then I went to girlfriends, and I was like, "I want help." And they're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Your time and energy." And they were like, "Okay." So I call it peanut butter and chocolate. My kids are like, "Why not jelly?" I'm like, obviously you didn't like the same candy I did growing up. But
Very good. I like
So
peanut butter and chocolate.
me too.
Yeah.
So we started Made for Shade. A lot of people volunteered. We had people, Kenny Putnam, he did the design of the tree. He donated that. Carrie Scoville, she's a therapist
Yeah.
here in town. Her dad is a lawyer. He donated the Articles of Incorporation. Cato helped us. I mean, everyone just came together. And it was really small for a long time. And there was even a time when some people around me were like, it's probably run its course. It should be done. And I was like, no. So I'm like, I'll just do more of my own time, resources, finances, and I'll find like-minded people. And that's what we have now. And so 18 years later, we have this community board of directors.
Wow.
And people who are really passionate and really invested. And I feel like it's a nonprofit for the community, by the community. And I'm really proud of it.
And tell us what Made for Shade does.
We educate about skin cancer. We provide shade structures in the northern Black Hills. and surrounding areas. And then we also plant trees.
Amazing.
Yes,
So
and
good.
pop-up tents.
Amazing.
So where are all these shade structures?
Yeah, so Sioux Park.
Okay.
Over at the tennis courts. We
Okay.
helped with that. In fact, I ended up helping write the grant for the City Vision funds for that because Jason Olson said, can we get some shade? And then I just 200 volunteer hours later kind of
Oh my
worked
Lord.
with Julie Grasby on
Wow.
that. But so those are our shade structures through Made for Shade and the physicians at the medical center. We also helped with each of the high schools. They have pop-up tents that say Made for Shade that they have at all of their soccer games and different
Sporting events that
That's
they
awesome.
can transport.
Right.
Yeah.
And
YFS.
tell us why
the Y.
childhood shade is so important for our kiddos.
Right. So a sunburn during childhood is more damaging to your cells than in adulthood. So it's really important to reach them when they're having habits and to make sure they don't have some of those bad sunburns.
Gone are the days of baby oil
Oh my
that
gosh.
my mother, drenched me in.
Baby oil and betadine.
Yeah, and betadine. Yes, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
We've come a long way.
We've come a
Yeah.
long
in the
way.
field of skincare, that's for sure. And also just skin health, I mean, they built these new soccer fields here in our city. And when those soccer fields went up, there wasn't, for the first couple years, there was nothing. There was no shade that you could even take a break. You'd have to go to your car and sit in there with the air on in order to get some shade and cool kids off. So
Have you seen our new donation out there?
Yes.
So we have
Beautiful.
these gigantic structures you can sit
in. Yeah.
that block UV rays but also wind, shelter for the kids, and the parents can still see through them to watch the game.
Oh wow.
yeah.
super
And
awesome.
they might have asked for $18,000 worth of trees this year.
Oh, amazing.
So stay tuned on
$18,000.
Thursday.
That's going to
That's
be
exciting.
beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be a part of that. That's incredible.
Well, you're going to be there Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tell
so
us
let's talk about what Thursday is.
So Thursday is our annual food wine tasting event. It's at Arrowhead. It's grown so much that it has to be outside, and we still sold out.
Incredible.
Yeah. And this year the theme is Sail the Grecian Islands. And we after COVID, I was like, I've got to do something different because I'm kind of bored. It's just the same thing. And so we started putting little hints on the invites of what the theme would be. The first year a butterfly for a picnic. And then orange slices, and everything was orange, like orange wine, orange marinade. And then last year was Hawaiian, and this year it's a Mediterranean Greek theme.
Cool.
Very cool.
That's very
I'm so
cool.
proud of you.
Thank you. That actually
Look at
It
Kitty
is,
smile.
I know, she takes no credit ever and always doles out the big wins. But she's here in the background making it all happen.
Yeah.
And so we're so glad that you took the time today. We know you're busy. I want to run through a couple of things specific to Made for Shade, but I don't want to neglect talking about your book as well.
Okay.
So please help me remember. Made for Shade on Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Arrowhead Country Club.
Yes.
It's already sold out.
Yes.
Are there opportunities for people to bid on things? Is there an auction?
There's an auction, but you have to be in person.
Okay.
And you can still donate. You can go to madeforshadesd.com
Okay.
to help us out.
Great.
If you're like, boy, it's a great cause. Next year I'm going to get my tickets early.
Yeah.
But when you're there this year, there's going to be a live auction. It's our third or fourth year we've done this. Again, after COVID, I was like, we have to reinvent this to make it exciting. And we have tickets to a Vikings game.
There are some big ticket items.
Yeah, we have tickets to Thanksgiving Packers versus Detroit in a private box.
On the
private
50-yard
entrance.
line, you
What?
guys. Yeah,
Are you
you get
kidding
to
me?
stay in the same hotel that the visiting team, which happens to be the Green Bay Packers this year, you get to stay in that hotel the night before, and then you're in a private box, private entrance, 50-yard line for the game.
And this
Oh, that's epic.
That
Yeah.
is.
Doctors Ramey and Heidi, they are from that area for Henry Ford for a long time, so they have those tickets and they generously donated them, and their kids play soccer, and they've been so grateful about what we've done for the soccer fields at Made for Shade. So
That's amazing.
And
Yeah.
there are golf passes to, for foursomes and weekend getaways and lessons, and you've got a fish fry on here. You've got
yeah, last year a bunch of guys got together and had a wild game feed out at Brett Estes's
Yeah.
barn.
Yeah.
Which to me is like a fancy room.
Yeah,
it's
it's
really nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. And they loved it. They had so much fun. So this year they're doing fish they caught in the Keys.
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
Amazing.
I
And
love
then
that.
one of the things that I saw, because I'm going to be 12 soon, is there's a fire truck that will come to your house and deliver donuts. You can bid on that.
I want that.
I know, it's so
Tina's-
cool.
Tina's
I'm
bidding
gonna
on
write
that.
that.
I know. It's awesome.
You got to win it for her.
You've done a
That's
great
right.
job of really kind of procuring all of these packages that aren't just guy things or girl things, but there's kid things in here too. There's
Yeah.
like the zip lining and the at the park in Keystone and
Yeah, and the female pop guitar that's
Yes.
signed by
Oh my
Taylor
gosh.
Swift and other artists, Adele.
Billie Eilish, Adele. Like there were all kinds of people.
Are we
that
in
signed.
Hollywood right now?
I
Or
know.
Rapid
Like this
City?
is what
We're in
she
South
does.
Dakota.
This is what she does.
I have a great committee and a great board of directors, so it's
But then you also have some skincare product and
Yes.
some procedural things that you and the team have donated your time.
right. So there's over $20,000 of cosmetic procedures being auctioned off in the silent auction, and so anything from Cool Sculpt to Diamond Glow, Botox, full face rejuvenation worth over $3,000. Lots of items to bid on.
Wow.
In fact, there's such a crowd around those items that this year we have handlers and ropes
No,
Wow,
you don't.
that's
Yes.
so cool.
Because-
Security.
because people were like,
I need
it
to
just
do
gets
that.
too crowded. I can't get in there, and so we're going to be like, write your bid
Yes.
and keep going because
Yes.
people stake out their spots.
Yeah.
Is that so funny? That was our feedback that we had to make sure everybody had
They
an
want to
opportunity
go over
get
the
in
top
there.
of somebody.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's
Oh
how
my
good
gosh.
these items are. People
That's
are
so
fighting.
cool. So you've done an incredible job with this, and we are really grateful that we get to watch you from afar and now, be with you there on Thursday and participate. So thank you for including us.
It's going to be so
I have a
great. I can't
question.
wait.
Yes.
So, Tina, Lycia's been your dermatologist for a
Yes.
really long time. And why is skin health important to you personally? And I want you to
Yes.
talk about some of the
I
things-
100% waive all HIPAA right now in this conversation.
I want you to talk about some of the things
Yes, there's been a lot.
that you've been through
So
with Lycia.
we've talked about this before, that I grew up here in the Northern Hills, and you think in a northern climate that you're immune or impervious to the strength of the sun's rays, and that is so polar opposite now that I'm an adult and I understand how it works. But as a kid, I played outside all the time. I was either playing in the woods, I was playing sports, I was at my grandparents' ranch, whatever it was. Or if we were at the lake, there was no sunscreen. There was baby oil and betadine.
Right.
I literally do not remember a product called sunscreen from
No,
my childhood.
Not ever. So then
Or
you
if it was SPF
I,
4.
I do remember
Yes.
a lot of QT. Remember QT, like quick tan, that left
Oh, yeah.
orange streaks all over your
Yes.
ankles?
Or
Yeah, I
your
remember
hair
that.
turning orange from
Right.
the
The
lemon.
sun in.
the sun in. Excuse me. But now you fast forward that, 20 years, and I'm in the golf business in the desert of Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm outside on the lesson tee, playing golf, marking golf course hazards for tournaments, whatever it might be, for 20 years, again, with minimal or no sunscreen. And now, I'm suffering the consequences of all of those things, but thank God I have you and Dr. Wittenberg to kind of help put me back together. I mean, I've had so many spots cut out of my face and pre-cancer spots burned off. And it is no joke. I cannot implore you enough to find a board-certified dermatologist in your area. At least get an annual full-body scan. Let them look at all the parts and establish a relationship and a care plan with that individual.
Yeah.
It's incredibly
And
important.
for all of you people out there who are middle-aged like we are, which I know there's a lot of people who are middle-aged that listen to our podcast, if you have not been to the dermatologist for a full body skin check, that is my challenge to you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get it done, because a lot of things when Lycia does the skin check are things that you can't see on
Right.
your own body.
Right.
She leaves no stone left unturned. And it's incredibly important because can you talk about melanoma just a little bit?
Yeah, so skin cancer is the most common of all cancers. That's part of the motivation for Made for Shade. And again, what Tina was sharing, when you're a child, if that's not part of the talking points in your home, and it certainly wasn't when we were growing up,
Right.
you just don't think about sunscreen. And so we're trying to educate. But one person dies every minute in America from melanoma. So
Hold
we're trying
up.
to
Whoa.
we're trying
What?
to
Every minute?
I think so.
Wow.
And so
yeah,
but if it's every hour, it's still impactful,
It's still
right?
whatever the time frame is. Anybody dying every day, or from something that's truly preventable.
And all teasing aside, it's not easy for Tina when she comes
No.
in. If I can talk about that.
Please, yes, please.
There's
Let's talk.
different
I'm so
types
sensitive.
of skin, and Tina has
Yeah.
type 1 skin. And a lot of those people have a gene variant where they feel cutaneous pain more than other people. So when she gets things burned or cut off, they hurt her more than they hurt maybe other patients. And I can always tell, I'm like, were you a redhead as a child, or was someone in your family? And they're like, oh yeah. And those are the people that it really hurts them, and the numbing is harder to achieve as well. And so it's very hard for her to come in, and yet she does. And so hats off to her, and hats off for talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I know that
it is like,
it's not easy.
It's not easy, and I'm so glad that you brought that up, because even when I have to come in for just a normal procedure, which could be like the liquid nitrogen just to burn off a precancer spot, I make a white-knuckled closed fists, and I bare my head into the back of the chair. And that is for the most minimally invasive procedure that is part of this. So if you take that to needing to have Mohs surgery and it being multiple layers to get it all,
And you're there all day.
and I'm there all day, and they're injecting lidocaine, they have to inject me with so much that I have a reaction that makes me super jittery. My heart races. I have to drink orange or apple juice.
Then you're nauseous.
And then I get nauseous. But I'm not saying those things to scare anybody. I'm truly giving you a full, transparent picture of how important it is to still do it. Yeah. I cannot. One of the things that Jenny has harped on me, because she has been in the office when I've gone through this and has seen firsthand, like, it's a big deal. And like Jessica Ricchetto, other staff members that are in the room with Dr. Thornburg will tap to try and distract me.
And that totally helps.
And it does help.
Now we have a little tool that vibrates for you that you can hold on your skin. So that's nice to distract.
A lot of women wear foundational makeup that has SPF in it, but I'm not a makeup kid. So it is equally as important for me to implement that SPF, that sunscreen layer in my morning routine. And sometimes I'm good about it, sometimes I forget, but Jenny is
about it. And
so thorough with
helping her
keeping
get
me on
better.
task.
I would also say, there's lots of times we'll be outside and I just show up wherever Tina is with a water bottle and sunscreen.
Yep.
And I'm like, time. Because
I will just keep going.
That's another misconception.
Yeah.
Is that if you apply sunscreen when you're going to go out in the sun,
Yeah.
that's not an all-day pass.
Yeah, it's not a one and done.
Have I told you guys about that pill you can take? that let's talk about it.
Yes.
So there's this pill. The active ingredient is polypodium leucotomus, and it's been in Europe for 40 years, and it came to America in early 2000s. And when they first introduced it here, it's a pill you take before you go outside to block a lot of the sunburn pathway, which then is kind of the cancer pathway. And when it first came, we were like, I don't know what we think about that. The dermatologists were like, that needs to be studied more. And at a conference after COVID, I looked at Dr. Poling. I'm like, I thought we made fun of that stuff. And she's like, I think there's been some studies.
Wow.
So there's been these retrospective analysis of it's safe, right? So there's the pill you can take called HelioCare.
That's what we have.
That's what we
Or
have.
they just came out, a dermatologist and a plastic surgeon just invented a gummy that tastes like passion fruit, and it's approved for children, FDA cleared. And so you can get that. It's called Inner Glow Soul Defense, SOL.
That's-
Glow Soul Defense.
We
Yeah.
need to put a link to that.
We'll put a link to that in our show notes. So
Yeah.
And the
people can
HelioCare. They're
find
both
it.
great.
Yeah.
But boy, the passion fruit's good.
Good.
I've been messaging the inventor. I'm like, you're
That's
amazing.
What if it
incredible.
tastes too good and you eat too much?
That's what I feel like. I look forward to it. It's like a treat.
Remember the Flintstones vitamins when you were a kid?
Yes.
You could not have those. I ate so many of the Flintstones. It was the most.
Jenny's maxed
I
out
was the
on
most
vitamin
supplemented
C.
child ever. It's bionic.
I know, but actually, like when my family would go on vacations, I'm like at breakfast, I'm like handing it out.
That's
like,
right.
Little dealer here.
Yeah.
And so now, when I've
Gummy for you.
Yeah. Now the gummies, they're like, okay, this is good actually. So it's-
Incredible.
yeah.
I'm so glad you told us about that.
Yeah.
I didn't
I would
know
have had
about
no
that.
idea
And you
about
can
that.
dose twice a day if you need to.
And
it's
that
on
it's
the
safe
bottle.
for kids.
We should
That's
get
good to
some
know.
for the boat. For
Yeah,
the
for
weight.
sure.
Yeah, 'cause you always
Absolutely.
worry about pills heating up and deactivating, so I
Yeah.
feel a little safer with that.
Yeah.
I knew there was pills you could take to get a tan, but now there's pills you can take to
Wow.
protect yourself from the sun rays.
That's awesome.
I
Because
did
a
not
lot
know
of people
that.
are
I
just
didn't
out all
either.
day, and it gives you an extra sense. We were on vacation and we were kayaking, and no one got burnt, and it was like, ooh, we kind of feel invincible.
amazing.
That's a
Yeah.
big win.
Wow.
Could we pivot just for 1 second? I know, Lycia, your time is so precious, and I we have lots of women who listen to our podcast, and I wanted you to talk a little bit about your journey with your book and kind of what
Yes.
led to that, what
Thank you.
that's about, and the marriage of like beauty, chasing beauty, and dermatology.
Thank you. Yeah, so we could do a link to my book as well.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
It's locally at Mitzi's now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's on Amazon. It was a bestseller for 3 weeks. It's still on there.
Amazing.
Chasing Beauty.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And so I started falling in love with this sunscreen, Skin Medica, based on it had infrared, blue light protection. And so I started interfacing more with the company that owned them, Allergan. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun doing even more aesthetics.
Yeah.
So since 2016 till now, my practice has just really had a lot of pivoting to do more aesthetics. And with that, I've been consulting nationwide for Allergan. I've been on
Wow.
national stage. I've been chosen to be one of their top 22 in the nation Future of Botox Masters.
Wow.
That was in April. It was
I
fun.
need to make an appointment.
Super exciting.
And I got to be I've been on 5 national advisory boards with
Oh
them.
my gosh.
So 2 weeks ago, it was, I know.
I'm like starstruck right now. It's
No, it's
so
just
cool.
I'm like sitting there pinching me, and like the people on this, there were 10 consultants on there, and it was on GLP-1s and skincare, and it was about 2 weeks ago, and I kind of have a girl crush on this Sabrina Fabi. She's like this renowned dermatologist in San Diego, like I want to be her when I grow up, right? She's just amazing. And she was on there, and I'm like, oh, I've met her in person twice, but now I'm on this as an equal. I just kept pinching myself underneath the table.
gosh, right?
Don't act like a spaz, Lycia. And then there was this Yale-trained dermatologist who was so nice, and she's the incoming president to the ASDS. So doing all these really cool things. And when they went, tell a little bit about yourself, I was like, well, and I wrote a book. And so the president of the company is like, yeah, it's a great book, and it's on my shelf. And
Are
I
you
was
serious?
Yeah. I was really, it's exciting. So I'm on an airplane, and I'm sitting next to this gentleman, Chris Dyer. He's a motivational speaker, and he talks about company culture and having positive company culture. And at the very end of the flight, I said, I always wanted to write a book, because he was talking about his book. And he's like, you should. So he gave me the name of 2 different book coaches. And the first one was like, I'm already full. I just work with California people. And I was like, second one took a little bit to get back to me. She was on vacation with her daughter. And she's like, let's set up a meeting and see if we're a good fit. And so we did. And this was in the end of 2023. And I loved her. Pithy Wood Smithery is her company. And so we started working together for over 13 months to write this book. And it was such a journey. I felt like even if I don't publish it, this experience of having to interview country's experts in different categories to complete the book and making myself cold call, email people that you're afraid to contact, and just putting yourself out there and growing and meeting people from around the country was worth it. And so the book came out at the end of February, and it's been a really fun journey.
Unbelievable.
We're so proud of you.
You texted me the day. I was like, so nice. You're like, we know what this means.
Yeah.
So good.
Every time I talk to you, it's, I did this and I did this and I did this, and you're just, on top of all of the things that a person does day to day in a field that you're in, like, it's no joke. You should.
It's been a
be
fun
proud
journey.
of that.
I feel like I'm so proud of it for my girls.
How old are your girls?
So they are 22, 20, and 17. And they've been through a lot through all of this. And so for them to see you continue to challenge yourself and grow has been amazing.
What a great example they have in you.
Thank you. And my stepson's playing at Made for Shade. I should mention that. He's performing.
Really?
Danny Thornburg.
What's the name of his band?
Well, he does different depending. He's a composer. He trained at Berklee School of Music, and so he does different arrangements depending on the venue. And so for this, I'm like, you do whatever you want because you are the expert. And so I think he's doing a trio. So it's always a treat. He can do a lot.
Her stepson's girlfriend is Caroline, that works with me, who also graduated from Berklee School of Music, and she composed our podcast name.
Yes, she did.
So yeah, they're very musical. So one other thing I want to touch on is I want to go back to a moment several years ago when I came to see you about some aesthetics. And I was having all these feelings about it. I was having feelings about the aesthetics. And I think sometimes in society, it's sort of like, I think
it's like the taboo thing. It's so
this or
judgy.
that.
People are so judgy about it.
And you gave me the most beautiful talk about it. And I want you to tell the people about women that are contemplating maybe doing something aesthetically or going to see someone.
What did I say to you?
You told me, you said, listen, this is your body and this is your life, and if you want to look a certain way, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you want to do a little bit of Botox or this or that, like, I'm here to partner with you on this journey to better yourself. And so we've actually been on this journey for about a year, where I've been going to see Lycia to just kind of address some things that were bothering me. And we posted some TikToks about that, so people can go listen to them and find them. But you were so supportive and affirming, and I was feeling like almost a little like shameful for even asking. And you were like, own it. Like, it's okay. It's totally fine.
Well, and that's one of the chapters of the book. And so I interviewed a women in gender studies from Georgetown to talk about that entire issue, about how we feel about doing that. And I had to design the cover with the book designer. And I wanted it to be no one woman, but every woman, and showing that when the inside doesn't match the outside, it can be painful. And so you'll notice, like, the cover has this sculpture, and you don't know her eyes, so she's every woman chasing beauty, and it shows it's chiseling down to the inside, and that's who should make the decision. You, because if you have something where you don't feel like your inside matches your outside, that's up to you we'll do that together. It's never anything that would bother your injector or your dermatologist, but if it bothers you and you want to work on that, that's what we can work on together.
I love that you said it's up to you, that when your inside doesn't match the outside, and you collaborate with them, you stand alongside them in support of them, that statement is transitional to talking about mental health, to talking about people's journey with GLP-1s, to we shame so
much shame with
many
that.
people. We judge each other, and it's got to stop. I'm so glad that you made that statement.
It is
Right.
okay to feel good about yourself.
Yes,
And it's
thank
okay
you.
to want to
have to
change
It's okay to
something.
want
And
to look,
invest in
yes,
yourself.
Yes.
And change
I
something.
think as moms, like we're like giving trees, right? We give all of our time, our money, our effort, our investment, our resources, our emotion to like kids and all the things that need us on a daily basis. And, sometimes it's time to just say, I'm going to do this for me.
The GLP-1s, there's a lot coming out, but on that National Advisory Board, they had an expert endocrinologist, world respected level person, and there are studies where it's healing fatty liver, where it's reversing fog with Alzheimer's, reversing brain fog with menopause, and so many benefits going on that the microdosing that will be happening over the next few years, they predict the majority of people through perimenopause and menopause will be on microdosing in the next 5 years. Because when you intermittent fast, you're just doing autophagy of fat cells, but you're not also changing lipolysis of white fat to brown fat, and you need it to be brown fat so you can burn it. And so visceral fat needs to be burned. And so anyway, stay tuned for that over the next few years. Let go of the shame. I don't know why there was so much shame and so much in politics about GLP-1, but it doesn't belong there.
I just
because
got
it's
my
really
first
beneficial.
one yesterday.
Yay!
Congratulations.
That's
Thank you.
so exciting.
That's awesome.
We're
And
excited for you.
That was part of my journey too when I had my breast reduction in November. That your statement of the insides not matching the outsides, like I was tired of we removed. When I say we, I had nothing to do with it. It was Dr. Mary Snyder. 11 pounds of tissue. 5.5 pounds on each side. And so think about carrying a 10-pound sack of potatoes every day, all
Like you
day
strap
on
it to your chest and you have to carry it all day.
all day.
Tina used to have this knot like in her, right back here in the back of like the top of her shoulder. Like literally like a baseball was there, and no matter how much I massaged it or what, it would never go away.
And it had to hurt her to be willing to go through that surgery because you don't look forward to procedures.
No, it just I am such a sensitive kid when it comes to anesthesia. It's really hard for me to come out of anesthesia. This was supposed to be a outpatient procedure, same day.
When I checked her in, I told them, I was like,
just prep a
I'm
room.
pretty sure she's staying the night. And they're like, no.
We've never had
says that.
anybody.
We've never had anybody not, wake up. And I said, okay, I'll be in the waiting room. And then finally at like 8:30, she came out and she said,
6.5 hours
she's gonna
later.
stay the night. I said,
I didn't wake up until 11:30. They wheeled me to the room. I remember hearing them, but I didn't open my eyes and wake up until 11:30 that night. So I was out for almost 12 hours. 10,
You probably needed
10
the
hours.
rest, Tina.
And I'm like that with everything. It doesn't matter what.
But that's that gene variant that
Yes.
the redheads have, where they metabolize anesthesia differently.
Yep.
And so it's probably
That
good
is
for some
so
people to hear
interesting.
this because they're like, oh, that explains me, right?
Yeah.
Your sensitive skin, the gene variant,
Absolutely.
the burning.
And I have joked. I've sent pictures, texted pictures to Lycia about myself. Like, what are we gonna do with this face? Like, how am I gonna fix this mug? And
Stop.
And I need to get on a plan. But the hang up is, oh man, this is gonna hurt. But I have to get past that. There are things that have to be done.
And there's swelling with some lasers and that sort of thing. I just got lasered a couple weeks ago, and I had to go to a Made for Shade meeting, and it was at Arrowhead, and people were looking because I'm like, I look 20 pounds heavier right now.
Yeah, just
Because I was so swollen.
swollen.
Yeah. It was. It was crazy.
I've started to enjoy the Botox needle because I like the outcome of it.
The outcome.
The outcome is pretty beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
poke
great.
me.
I think
And it actually increases endorphins. And
Does
so
it really?
Yeah, they have a lot of studies. And for my book, I had to research, like they isolated the depression, anxiety decreasing with Botox. And I said, oh, it's because they can afford it. No, they isolated out like income.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's about biomimetic feedback of the facial muscles and what's being released internally. So you know how they always say fake it until you make it when you're nervous
Yeah.
for something? It's so true.
Yeah.
You make yourself start smiling
Yeah.
and you
Head
do
up,
release
shoulders
more.
back.
Yes.
Head up, shoulders back.
So it's so true.
Captain your ship.
And that is about when the inside doesn't match the outside and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people don't want it and that's fine.
Right.
But the good thing about the lasers are they get rid of precancers too. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why we'll do that with you,
Me,
if that's
probably
okay to talk
my
about
next.
that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No HIPAA here. All the things that I've done with you, and your expertise, your level of knowledge is second to none, and it's important to.
We always have to be learning, right, everybody?
Yes, it is important to Jenny and I both to frankly, shamefully, take advantage of your knowledge to share with the people.
It's a great resource to have here.
That was
You are a
fun. We
great
did all
resource.
that. We did that interview a
Yes.
couple times, and we asked questions.
We
And I
should
was
do that
so
again.
and I was so nervous the first time. Do you remember? I didn't even tell my family I was on it.
And
I
it's,
couldn't tell. I couldn't
No,
tell.
you're
did
just such a great
wonderful.
guest, and you have so much good information. I think the takeaway for me today is just own who you want to be. Let your inside match your outside. Find a board-certified dermatologist to put into your team of healthcare advocates, and
Wear sunscreen.
wear sunscreen.
How
Take
do
the
Get
pill.
your annual check.
So we have listeners literally from all over the country and world,
the
really.
world,
But
yep.
if somebody is looking to connect with the right dermatologist in their area, like they've heard this message, they need to get in to see someone, what's the best way to go about finding a qualified dermatologist?
So aad.org is a great way to go. That's our academy. And you can log on and check and make sure you have a board-certified dermatologist in your area. And actually, like a lot of dermatologists from all around the world come to our annual meeting. It's amazing to see. And the Brazilian ones are really gorgeous.
Oh, yes.
Always.
It's like
Always.
Oh, they dress so nice. But
And for people locally, where can they find you? Where can they make an appointment with you if they live in
well, they
the
can
region?
follow me on Instagram. I would love
Yes.
that.
Yep.
At Lycia Thornburg, MD. And from there, you can find
let's-
everything.
We'll put that in we'll put all your social links in our show notes. So
The book,
people can find that.
everything.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Otherwise, they can make an appointment with you at Rapid City Medical Center.
Yes.
And the name of the book again, please?
Chasing Beauty.
And you can purchase that on Amazon. We'll have a link to that in the show notes. And for those of you that are so inclined, and we would love for you to mark it on your calendar and make sure that you have a seat at the table for Made for Shade next year. This year's event on Thursday is sold out, but
We have a big announcement, a new pairing in this community. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
yes.
So Katie Slingsby's been our committee chair, and she's on our board, and she is a whippersnapper, is what I like to call her. She's just getting things done. And she is good friends with Kara Flynn. I'm friends with Amy Koenig, who's now chair of the board of directors at Children's Home. And we will be beginning a couple-year partnership with them to give them a very large grant announced, it's still a surprise, announced Thursday at Made for Shade
Oh my gosh.
to help local area children.
Wow.
This is incredible.
Because they're building right now, so they need
Yes.
the grant money while they're constructing.
Yes. You
That's so
guys.
You just
You are
heard a
changing
secret.
the world.
We just heard
Yeah.
a secret.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for what you do. Thank you for
We
who you
adore
are
you.
to
I
us.
feel the same about you guys, and I'm so excited, grateful, and I was a little nervous to be here. So
No.
Oh,
You're,
All
Easy.
easy.
yeah,
Yeah, just a conversation.
We're
just a
nervous.
conversation.
We're nervous to hang out with you. Just kidding.
You're a badass. You're such a rock star, and I
Mm-hmm.
love that you own it. Like, I'm just so proud of you. I'm proud of who you are in your field, but I'm just so happy and grateful that you are my friend.
That means a lot because we've known each other a long time.
Yes.
Yes.
You do a lot, and it's definitely noticed.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you want to give our information
Yes.
real
So
quick? And
if you have any questions for us on the podcast or how to get in touch with Dr. Thornburg, feel free to send us an email, info@theunicornprojects.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at the toll-free number, which is 844-605-LIFE, 844-605-5433.
okay.
Okay.
This is how we do it.
Okay,
Yes.
ready to do it?
Ready?
Unicorn.
Unicorn.
Right here.
Boom.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unicorn Projects, hosted by Amy Rose with Jenny and Tina. Music by Caroline Kilty. Produced by Russ Haddon. Engineered by Chris Jaquez. It's the Unicorn Projects on the Home Slice Audio Network.